September the 6th. Thank you for joining me. I've got our State Health Officer, Matt Christensen, and I've got our Deputy State, Highway Engineer, Jason Foster with me, and we'll get to that in just a few minutes. I'm gonna move through these things pretty quickly, but the Thorny Mountain Fire Tower one-night stay contest winners are now in, and here are our winners. Nathaniel Rogers from Huntington, West Virginia, Patricia Shreve from Morgantown, and Christy Hism from Sistersville, are all the winners, and all of you know this place is in big time demand and beautiful beyond belief and everything. Congratulations to those winners. I need to tell you some stuff about our elk tour ticket sales. Tickets are officially on sale today for elk management tours at Chief Logan State Park. If you'll look at this, these tickets went really fast, and but if you book a stay at Chief Logan, you'll receive an additional 10% discount and everything. I wouldn't miss a chance to get on these tours if you could, because really and truly, you're going to see something magnificent. That's all there's to it. Seeing these great elk, these incredible creatures, that we're reintroducing back into West Virginia. It's really an amazing story, and so try to take advantage of this if you can. The annual Hunting and Fishing Days celebration will be held this Saturday and Sunday, September the 9th and 10th, at the Summit Bechtel Reserve at Glen Jean, West Virginia. That's the Boy Scout area and everything. Admission and tickets are $10 for adults, and children under the age of 10 get in free. It's a really great celebration of our hunting and fishing in West Virginia, and just it is an amazing show. So absolutely take your children and go, because they'll have a blast, and it's really good stuff, really good. The Minority Business Summit, our Herbert Henderson Office of Minority Affairs is hosting their 9th annual Minority Business Expo at the Charleston Civic Center on Thursday, October the 12th. Registration's now open. If you know folks that are interested in everything, please have them contact the Herbert Henderson Office of Minority Affairs, and where they can get registered to come. It's a great opportunity for all, but our minorities, our women business owners, our veterans. It's just a great opportunity, and be really good stuff. Want to talk to you just a second about the Paden City water supply and everything. And Dr. Christensen, Matt Christensen, is going to talk to us about this. I'll just turn it over to him. He's got more knowledge than I've got about it and everything. But I want all West Virginians to know that 100% my administration continues to watch and monitor the water and the situation in Paden City, and we want to try to help any way we possibly can. There is a little snafu here that this is an EPA Superfund site, and they're the lead agency, and sometimes our federal agencies move a lot slower than what we want to move. And so, but Matt, if you could talk to us, it'd be really good.
Sure, Governor, and thank you for bringing up this Paden City water issue. It is something that's been close on our radar, and we, at your direction, have been coordinating very closely with the EPA as well as with local city officials, emergency management, DEP, and all other stakeholders involved to make sure that we can make the priority of getting this water back into acceptable limits and getting water back on as soon as is possible. As we've talked about in previous press briefings, on August 16th, we recommended the Paden City Water Department issue a do not consume order based on some preliminary findings from the EPA of detectable levels of a chemical called tetrachloroethylene, PCE, in the local water supply. And Paden City has been a great partner in complying with that order and continuing to maintain that do not consume and do not use order and keep that in place. As we have progressed through this response, the machine that clarifies and removes this chemical from the system has been brought back on board. We're currently in the process of flushing the system and waiting for sampling and sampling results to come back after that additional flushing to make sure that the water lines have no residual traces of PCE before we can change any of those administrative orders. We've been doing testing repeatedly throughout the water system. But as of right now, residents should know that the do not consume order is still in place and do not use order is still in place, and be alert for more communications from your local authorities regarding the status of that system. As I mentioned in the beginning, collaboration here is key, and coordination with our federal partners in the EPA and our state partners and local partners in Paden City to ensure that the water quality meets those standards for quality drinking water. As of right now, as I mentioned previously, that do not consume, do not use order remains fully in effect in Paden City until there's no doubt in our minds that the chemical has been fully flushed from the system. In the meantime, we understand everyone's frustration at the local level and concern with the situation, but our goal remains getting that water back on and doing it safely. So with that, I'll hand it back to you, Governor, and appreciate your leadership on this issue.
No, Matt, thank you so much. Appreciate you more than you'll ever know. But now if I'll move on to something that is really neat and really happy. Today, I'm happy to announce that our EMS workforce has grown. Get this number, by more than 600 over the past year. And that following, my answer to the call initiative and everything, from August 22nd to August 23rd, we gained 40 emergency medical responders, 465 emergency medical technicians, 91 advanced emergency medical technicians, and 57 paramedics. In addition, test results from our EMS technician instructors have improved by 21% across the state. So we got all kinds of goodness here. We had a shortfall of EMS folks. We addressed that. We got an absolute big time bump there. And not only that, we got them better trained and absolutely a whole lot of really good stuff going on. I want especially to thank, this lady's new on the job, but Cynthia personally is doing a great job, and she was at HEPC and spearheaded this initiative. She's now the Secretary of Human Services and everything. She'll do a great job there, but Cynthia, thanks so much, and just pour it on. Do great work. I know you will. I've got a roads update, and I've got our chief engineer and everything that's with us today. Jason Foster is our deputy, state highway engineer and chief engineer of development at the Division of Highways. But these are major road projects. And Jason, come on and talk to us about this.
Thank you, Governor. Appreciate the opportunity to speak this afternoon. We have some exciting news on the I-64 Donald M. Legg Bridge, which will be the companion bridge to the Nitro World War I Memorial Bridge. We are currently lifting 2 million pounds of steel into place today. That consists of 5 beams over 300 feet. It'll be the last piece of the superstructure carried into place, and it's part of the $224 million widening project from Nitro to St. Albans that is one of the largest roads to prosperity projects that we have put out to bid in the state. And thanks to the governor's Roads to Prosperity program, we've been able to perform that work. Today, the river is closed to all traffic. Soon, the public should see forming, some concrete being poured. We'll be putting the deck down, and when we get this open in the spring or early summer, it'll have new asphalt and new concrete. It'll tremendously improve the safety for the area. It'll allow commerce to flow better. We're just really excited about this project and the opportunity to have it completed and open to traffic. The other project I'd like to mention, Governor, is the US 340 Rockfall project in our Eastern Panhandle. It's near Harper's Ferry, and we will be closing US 340, crossing the Shenandoah River into Virginia in order to facilitate this work from September 12th for a period of 90 days. We have a contractor in the area who will be removing loose rocks that have been a known safety hazard in that area. We'll be scaling the rock face and then placing a steel mesh over the remaining rock, anchoring it into place to improve safety. We have a detour already signed and in place that's starting again September 12th when the road's closed. That will be the way through. We have a website where the public can access the detour route and other information. We'll keep it updated. It's us340harpersferry.com. We have had multiple public outreaches and meetings. Our Secretary of Transportation, Jimmy Riston, has met with local officials, including Senators Rucker and Blair. Delegate Espinosa has been part of these meetings. We're trying really diligently to get the information out to the public, and we know it's going to be inconvenient, but it's necessary. This is highly hazardous work. We can't have the public in the area. I would like to mention that our Appalachian Trail crosses the Shenandoah River Bridge, and that will remain open for the duration of the contract. The bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic, but the public choosing to use the Appalachian Trail will still be able to use it through the region. The vehicular traffic detour is 22 miles long. It'll take about 35 minutes. We've coordinated with Virginia and Maryland, and we're really excited about getting this safety issue for this region taken care of. And we will have the road reopened by Christmas for the region's shopping season. And Governor, I thank you for the opportunity to update about these projects in our great state.
Jason, thank you. Thank you for what you do every single day, because at the end of the day, what's going on in highways all across this state, if you're not excited about that, you're asleep at the switch or living in a cave, because there's so much good going on. It's unbelievable. And sure, we've got some bumps in the road every now and then. We attend to the bumps in the road and take care and move forward. Let me get back on track here. Okay, boy, tomorrow, gosh, time just goes. It goes very, very quickly. But tomorrow, we're welcoming home, and we're having a ceremony to welcome home the members of the West Virginia National Guard. We sent 54 down to the southern border in Texas and everything. They're back now. They'll be back, and we'll be welcoming them tomorrow at 10 a.m. We welcome you to come on up and join us and everything, and salute all these great men and women and all the great work that they've done. And I'm sure that they've got a lot of stories to tell and everything, but they stepped up. They went to our southern border, protected our nation and everything, and helped in every way they possibly can. I mean, what is going on at our southern border is ridiculous. That's all there is to it. But with all that being said, to curb the flow of whether it be drugs or the potential of terrorists or just absolutely just flooded with illegal immigrants coming into the United States. So we're gonna welcome them back, and we'll do that tomorrow at 10 a.m. Omnis, and what an announcement we made at the Business Summit and everything as far as restarting the Pleasance Power Plant. There's lots and lots and lots of folks that have been involved there and everything, and I want to thank them all. That's the power plant just firing up right there and everything, and they use 3.5 million tons of coal. Now we're going to make hydrogen and graphite there, and other rare earth elements and everything. It will be a state of the art facility and everything, and a lot of good stuff that's going to happen there. The potential of an $800 million investment, the potential of 600 jobs there. There's 150 jobs there now, and to save those jobs and help that county and everything, a big time honor. There's just so many, people to thank, and I'm not going to go through all the different folks and everything, but one guy surely is Jay Powell, and Jay Powell, is a Pleasant County commissioner and everything, and but whether it be Simon Hodson or it be Bill Cole, all the different people that have really put in the licks to make this become a reality, we thank them. This is really going to be great stuff. We made another announcement back to back the next day, at the Business Summit and everything, and this was about Triplar, but the group is a joint venture between Carpet of Turkey and Triton International Enterprises, and they'll invest $50 million in Berkeley County. Basically, what they're going to hope to do is grow to 600 really nice, high-paying jobs that are a food packaging, outfit and everything, that they make the packaging that is 100% biodegradable, and so it, from the standpoint of 100% home compostable, and so it's just a state-of-the-art facility again, happening right there in Berkeley County. So we congratulate all those, and that are involved, and so we thank them for coming to West Virginia. Now we've got a COVID update from Clay Marsh. I think this is a recorded video and everything, but gosh, don't let us ever forget the incredible work that this man does and has done in the past for all of us and everything. Clay, we can't thank you enough.
Hi, this is Clay Marsh, and as always, it's great to join the governor and the press brief. Just for clarity, my segment is being recorded on Tuesday, September 5th, 2023. So there's quite a bit going on in the COVID world right at the moment. We are looking forward to getting our new COVID shots that should be available at the end of this month. And many people are asking, well, why would I need to consider this updated shot? And the reason why is because this shot is directed against the newest and latest, most common forms of COVID-19 that are circulating. And these forms are now from the Omicron family still, and a specific branch of that family called the XBB family. And so these vaccines are highly effective against this family, which is by far the most common form variant of COVID-19 that is infecting people today. And so getting this shot is going to be important because we know that the benefit of the vaccines that have been given in the past is limited to about 4 to 6 months. So for people in the highest risk groups, that puts them at some risk again. And to that end, we are not sure yet what the recommendations of the Centers for Disease Control or the Food and Drug Administration will be, but we should have more clarity after the meeting on September 12th. but we are very much anticipating that for sure people in the highest risk groups will be recommended to get the vaccine. And as we know, that's in the adult group 65 years of age and older, and also in people who have illnesses that cause them to not have a normal immune system, immunocompromised status, whether that's from cancer chemotherapy or treatment for diseases like Crohn's disease or rheumatoid arthritis, then your physician, your healthcare team can help you delineate that. And remember, as always, as these recommendations come to light, our vaccine calculator at vaccinate.wv.gov will continuously be updated and will be available so that you'll put in your information, and it will give you the recommendation about if you are eligible and when you should get the vaccine, and even allow you to schedule that vaccine to be given. It's also important to recognize that coming up on the fall time, there are two other vaccines that we would very much recommend people in the right age categories to get. The first one is a new vaccine for respiratory syncytial virus, RSV. And there's really two groups of people that this impacts. The first is our youngest part of our population. And so for young people 8 months and older, newborns, particularly as you look at people that are 8 months and younger during this upcoming time, there is a shot available that is not a vaccine, absolutely, but are antibodies that can protect these young children from getting RSV. And RSV is a cause of respiratory illness, lung illness, and bronchial tube illness that can cause severe problems in children because of the really small airways that children have. So this is a real breakthrough and very exciting that this can be offered this year. And also for adults over 60 years old, and that RSV shot is truly a vaccine. And we would recommend that anybody over 60 or any child 8 months and under be given those respective shots with the winter upcoming. And also the newest flu shot, which is coming out. And October and November are really the best months to get those shots because the peak effectiveness happens about 2 to 3 months, which is right around the time that we should see the biggest problems with RSV and the flu. As we look around the country and the world, we see that in our country, again, this EG5 variant of COVID-19 is the most common variant. And we're seeing more cases of COVID-19. And even though the number is picking up, we're still not seeing the kind of numbers that we saw at the peak part of the COVID pandemic. But people that get infected with this new variant, this EG5 variant, tend to have fever, runny nose, sore throat, coughing, and we are seeing again some loss of smell and taste with people. So if you get these symptoms and you're in risk groups over 65 or you have immunocompromising illness or you have other medical illnesses, please test yourself. And if you test positive for COVID-19, please consider getting the antiviral medication Paxlovid, because no matter what is the form of COVID-19, Paxlovid works really well in reducing the severity of illness, so protecting people from hospitalization or death, but importantly also reduces the risk of long COVID, having more prolonged symptoms from COVID-19 by about 26%, which is really helpful. And we also see that keeping up with your shots, the vaccines, the current vaccines, are also really effective in reducing long COVID. We know that around the country, we have seen the number of hospitalizations start to creep up, and we've seen that some in West Virginia. We still are really low compared to the peak of the pandemic, but we saw about a 22% increase in people in hospitals with COVID-19 over the last week or so. And as we scan wastewater, we look at at sewage water, and we can test the amount of virus in that sewage water. And we're seeing in many places around the country that amount of virus we're measuring from wastewater is going up again too. So we know that with school starting and the holiday weekend just up and coming, that it's going to be important for us to pay attention to any new symptoms or of cold-like or viral illness. And please go ahead and test yourself with your home kits if you have them, to make sure that this is not COVID. And if you do test positive, again, in the first 3 to 5 days after a positive test or symptoms starting, then considering Paxlovid is really important. There are some new insights that we're getting from long COVID. And remember, long COVID affects about 10 to 15% or so of people that have gotten COVID in the past. And there is a new theory, a new set of observations that have been brought forward that helps maybe explain why some people do have problems with long COVID. So one set of studies demonstrates that the energy stores inside of our cells, the so-called mitochondria, can be injured in long COVID, and the cells may not have the energy production, and that may account for some of the brain fog, some of the fatigue that people feel, and even some of the impact on some of the functioning of some of the vital organs that we can see in some people with long COVID. In addition, there's new data that suggests that in some people, the virus doesn't completely get killed by the immune system, and it can hide in certain places in the body and can still be produced, which can cause more ongoing problems. And in this setting, we would recommend, this is the reason why we recommend people to follow the tests, the home tests, the antigen tests that you can do. And we recommend that people make sure that they turn negative at some point and have at least a negative test that's 48 hours, 2 negative tests 48 hours apart, because if your test is negative in general, that's a good sign that the virus is not replicating anymore. And if you still are positive, we would recommend that you keep following that until you're negative. And that would be a way that you could start to rule out the possibility that you still have stores of COVID that are still replicating and causing problems in your body. And again, the treatment, Paxlovid, the antiviral treatment, is really effective in reducing that. While we are seeing more activity from COVID in a lot of respects, it's important to know, though, that most people in our country have immunity to COVID-19, either by being infected and recovering or being vaccinated or both. So it's really important to keep your guard up, particularly right now. COVID is continuing to get stronger, and we need to stay smart and use the tools that we have available, our new shots, vaccines, our antiviral medication, and particularly our major tool is you, so that we can help you help manage your own health and therefore the health of your families and of our communities of our entire state. So thank you so much, and stay safe out there.
Yeah.
Okay, Doc, thank you so much. And like I said, there's a superstar in my book, a great, great, great friend, somebody that stepped up, and we owe him more than you'll ever know. But thanks again, Doc. And now I guess we're ready for questions.
All right, thanks, Governor. We'll now go to questions from members of the media. The first today from Charles Young with WV News.
Hi, Governor. This is Charles Young with WV News. I was wondering if you have any plans to endorse a gubernatorial candidate between now and the primary. And if you were, do you have any plans to get involved in campaigning for that candidate? Thank you, sir.
Charles, I'd say that that's a possibility. You know me well enough to know that if I do endorse a candidate, I'll sure get out and work for him.
All right, thanks, Charles. Next to Mark Curtis with Nexstar Media.
Governor, good afternoon. Thank you already for answering the Paden City questions. I don't think I need to follow up on any of that. WTRF will take care of that. But I am concerned about your opinion on a couple of things, or one thing, both wearing your hats as governor and your hat as a high school coach. This past weekend, we saw numerous blowouts across the state. I mean, some of them were unbelievable, 90-7 and 83-7 on the football fields. And some people are blaming this on the transfer law that was passed in the legislature this year, which I know you did not sign and had concerns about. But given that, the transfers and address the issue of sportsmanship in terms of running up a score that badly on another team, and whether that's appropriate. But does this law need to be repealed? What do you think needs to be done with regard to the transfers, and what are your concerns about the impact that we're seeing?
Okay, Mark, I could go on and on and on about this. I'll tell you just straight skinny on how I feel. And I felt this way. I tried to stop the tide. The vote was so significant, in favor. I felt like it was a mistake. I felt like vetoing the bill would have only led to an override, which is a waste of time. I feel like that it has to be revisited. But let me just go one step further. Mark, I was, and I still am. Now I don't go there. I don't really work at it in any capacity like I did at one time. But I was the president of the Beckley Little League. I'll never forget this. There was a team that just happened to have, and the way it worked, you have the manager, you have 3 coaches and everything. They all bring their sons and everything. They have the very, very best players in the whole league. And then they just stack a team. And they're so much better than the other teams. And it's ridiculous how we could get that way over high school kids, but even more so ridiculous, how could we possibly get that way over 11 and 12-year-olds? But nevertheless, I was there, and they came and got me, and any problem, I would have to go to that. There's 5 fields, 1,000 kids in the Little League. It was an amazing, amazing Little League. Nobody paid a dime. It was really, we did it and did it the right way. So with all that being said, there was a team playing on field 2. When I got down there, it was in the 2nd inning, and the score was 57-0 in baseball. Well, I walked right out in the middle of the field and stopped the game. I called the coaches over that were ahead 57-0 in a Little League baseball game. And I said, what in the world are you doing? I mean, for God's sakes of living, do you not have any more intelligence than to do what you're doing? I mean, at the end of the day, those kids on the losing team have got to go to school tomorrow. And what are their classmates going to do? They're going to ridicule those kids. The same thing is true from a high school football team running the score up 99 to whatever. I actually thought it was bad, really bad, what happened at the WVU Penn State game, where you had 40 seconds to go, and WVU, I think, behind at that point in time, 31-15, and Penn State still trying to score. And lo and behold, of all things, what did they do? They scored with 20 seconds to go in the game and made it 38-15. I don't think that's right. I think it's classless, to tell you the honest truth. Now, with all that being said, we've got to revisit this, because all we're going to end up doing is having 5 or 7 or whatever super teams in the state, and we're going to destroy high school sports all across the state if we don't watch out what we're doing. It's a bad move. I don't know any other way to say it. We should not have done this, and now we got to live with it. So we need to revisit and to come up with a better solution than what we got. That's all I've got.
All right, thanks, Mark. Next, we'll go to Mark Cram with DC News Now.
Good afternoon, Governor. Good to see you. On a lot of the minds of a lot of Eastern Panhandle residents was the closure of Route 340 next week. We appreciate the overview there from Jason Foster. A couple of questions have been asked. Is it possible to keep one lane open? And then the other question is, what if an emergency vehicle such as a mutual aid, fire truck or something would need to come into that area of Jefferson County? Have those considerations been given? And what can you say that can assure folks that this has been thought through well? Thank you so much.
Mark, I'm gonna bring Jason back on and let him address that. But I would say two things. First of all, if it's not been well enough thought through, we best better do it. And the second of all, I do believe that it has been thought through. And Jason, if you could add to that, please.
You go ahead, too, Governor. As far as the one lane accommodation, the fact that the rocks are being rolled off of the hill makes it impossible to have the public traveling through as we're doing the work. And we have thought about that. We've looked at different options. The other thing that we've done over actually the last few years is met with all three states. We've had individual meetings with the 911 service folks in the states. We've asked them if there's areas where they need to stage trucks or other service response vehicles. And they have developed a plan based on the information we provided them to provide the best service they can for the citizens of the Eastern Panhandle and the adjacent two states. So it's been thought through and discussed at length, and we believe we have a sound plan for the 90-day closure. Thank you, Governor.
All right, thanks, Mark. Next, we'll go to Adriana Doria with WSAZ.
Thank you, Governor. Wanted to ask you, a vote of no confidence just passed against WVU President Gee. Wanted to get your thoughts on that. Do you have confidence in President Gee? I know you've said in the past you're not going to leave WVU to the side. Do you stand by that? And what are your opinions on this?
Well, I don't know the details about the vote, but let me just tell you this. I do have a lot of confidence in Gordon Gee, and I've got an absolute confidence in our university and our Board of Governors, and we'll get it right. We'll get it right. You know, it's there's plenty of moving parts and everything, and whatever we got to do to be able to give assistance and everything from the standpoint of right here in Charleston and government and everything, whatever we got to do, we got to do. I mean, that's all there is to it. This is our charter university, and I do believe that Gordon Gee has been a great president and a great man for the state of West Virginia, and believes wholeheartedly that he wants to do more and more and more goodness for us. I mean, we can say a whole lot of things about Gordon Gee, but I am telling you wholeheartedly, that man is eat up with trying to do good stuff for West Virginia. Now, they got some problems. They got some big time problems, and we want to try to do anything and everything we can to support. But our Board of Governors is right behind our president and everything, and I'm standing there, willing to try to do anything I can to help.
All right, thanks, Adriana. Governor, I'll turn it back to you.
Well, I really, let me review real quickly and everything. A lot of really, really neat things happening and everything, whether it be the Thorny Mountain Fire Tower or the elk, and our hunting and fishing days, and, great stuff with the EMS folks and everything. We've added a lot of people there, really, that were badly, badly needed and everything. We've got a roads update from Jason and everything, and Jason, I know you all are doing phenomenal work and everything. And this is more of a safety issue than anything else, but sometimes we just can't do anything but to provide safety, and and one lane open and all that kind of stuff. And so we'll move along. We'll move along as quickly as we possibly can. Sorry for the inconvenience and everything, but sometimes in building these roads and everything, you just can't do any better than that. And you know, from Payton City, I want everybody there to know that we're on it, and we'll stay on it. This is not, you know me well enough to know I don't blow smoke at anybody. If I tell you we're on it and we're going to stay on it, that's what we're going to do. You know, congratulations to the Minority Business Summit that's coming, and you know, welcome home to our National Guard. You know, Omnis is, oh boy, what a great day for the Pleasance Power Plant, and this Treplar, you know, that's coming to Berkeley County. That's really great stuff as well, and we always appreciate, you know, Clay Marsh's, you know, rundown on COVID and all the good stuff there. I'll end by just saying just this. You know, I am concerned. I am concerned, and I am telling all coaches across our state right now, for God's sakes a living, let all your kids play, and let them play a lot, and absolutely teach those kids absolute good principles. At every practice I've ever had, you know, one of the things we do is every time I go into practice, I have those kids sit right in front of me and we talk about lots of things. Sometimes it's not even basketball. And I'll challenge any of you, you show me a record that anybody has that's better than my record as far as wins and losses. But I, honest to God, believe with all in me, if I can't bring more to the table than a win or a loss, or teaching some kid how to dribble a basketball, if I can't bring more to the table, if I'm with those kids 2 or 3 hours a day, 6 days a week, then I'm not much of a coach. And when you beat somebody 95-6, there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that at all. And so I'm not giving people a hard time, but all I'm trying to say to all of our coaches, be bigger than this. Be bigger than what happened at Penn State. Be bigger than absolutely just trying to do some macho thing and say, you know, well, by God, we're going to put our kids out there, and if you can't stop our kids, that's your problem. Well, come on. You know, those kids have to go to school tomorrow. The kids that got beat 95-6 or whatever it was, they got to go to school tomorrow. And kids can be really cruel to other kids. And so just think, and let's absolutely enjoy our sports. Let everybody play. Let everybody play if you've got a situation like that. I'm telling you, still be competitive as you want to be. But there's no good in that, in my opinion. And legislature, we have got to bring everybody back to where we have some level of parity across our entire state, or we're going to end up with 4 or 5 superpower type teams, and that's all we're going to have. And so, come on, let's get it fixed. Nevertheless, that's all I got right now.